Shalom. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Brakatham and Shalom to all you sincere Akim and Aqua, and to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native and Seminole Indians, as well as you Israelite foreigners. I'm going to kick it off with this precept, Matthew chapter 16, verse 3. And it reads, "And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times?" Right. So Yahweh Shai is giving an analogy and a parable to the people that's in the world who don't know what's going on, man. They can understand the weather, right? They got wisdom enough to understand weather, when it's going to rain and, this and that. But they don't understand the prophecies. They don't understand how these prophecies going to come into effect, man. Whether you know it or not, life is a movie, right? Life, Bible, right? People like to say biblical times. Well, life is biblical times. Everything is being recorded in the heavens, man, right? And this Bible is a movie. Your life, this whole thing, everybody has a role to play out, you see? And we got to discern the time, the prophecies. What does prophecy mean? The foretelling future events, man, right? The Most High got prophets. He sent visions and signs to his prophets to give them the sneak peeks on what's going to happen in the movie, right? And I was reading, I'm going to get into it. The topic of this lesson is the next scene, man. Right? What is the next scene in the movie? Right? Because this is a whole movie, and to understand the whole movie, you got to go through the precepts, you got to go through the accounts, as well as the prophecies, right? And the parables, man. And the history as well. You see? I'm going to get another precept because we got to understand since Iraq, Salakia, Sirach chapter 43, verse 6, he made the moon also to serve her season for the declaration of times and a sign of the world, right? Because the moon tells you the times and seasons, right? The moon is symbolic in the scriptures sometimes as wisdom, because wisdom lets you know how to move and what's going on and how to discern and maneuver, man. You see? So we got to understand that the movie, right? Right, we got to, 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 1, he answered me then and said, measure thy time diligently, right? So we got to, go through the prophecies, to go through the history and accounts, and look at the writing on the wall and read between the lines, man. You see? Because when you measure the time diligently, you understanding what's the next scene in the movie, man. Right? You understanding what's the next scene in the movie. You know what's going on, and you gonna know how to move. That's called wisdom, right? That's called wisdom. You see? So we gotta understand what's going on. We gotta understand the movie, man. And it all goes back to Genesis, the 27th chapter, man. I'm gonna read it. Genesis chapter 27, verse 28. Therefore, right, and it all goes back to Jacob and Esau. It goes back to the scene, right? This was one of the top scenes in the movie, right? The blessing, the top characters was Isaac, Rebekah, Jacob, and Esau. You see? In the topic of the scene was about the blessing. Who was gonna get that blessing? Who was gonna be established as the top ruler in the kingdom of heaven? You see, it all goes back to Genesis chapter 27, verse 38, verse 28 on down. And I'm gonna read it. Therefore, God give thee of the dew, Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth. Right. So the blessing of ruling the galaxies, the universe, and the earth. The blessing of establishing rulership on earth, right? And plenty of corn and wine, right? Plenty of resources, plenty of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Right? Have have servants and handmaids, have slaves. Right? Be Lord over thy brethren. Right? Be ruler over over your the other child. And this represents be ruler over thy brethren, be ruler over Esau. Right? And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Let these nations bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee. Right? So everybody gonna have to go through you to get blessed. And if they don't, you're gonna plague them. Verse 30. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing, Jacob and Jacob was yet scarce, going out from his presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau his brother came in from hunting. Right. So Isaac thought he was blessing Esau, his firstborn, but Jacob came in. Jacob, because through the spirit that was already Jacob was already the firstborn, because Jacob represents the elect, the 144,000, one of the first spirits created after Yahushua was created. The elect, the 144,000 were created, and through them everything was created. Everything you see was created, right? Because it talk about how God created heaven and earth. It goes into God means Elohim, which represents powers. You see. I'm going to read on. And he said, it came past as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce, going out from the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his honey. And he also had made savory meat and brought it unto his father. Right. So Esau thinking he finna get the blessing, but let alone Jacob got that blessing, man. And it says, brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's vengeance, that thy soul may bless me. Right? But Esau, he late, man. Right? He late. He didn't catch up. He wasn't hip, And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that has taken vengeance and brought it me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed. Right? So that blessing gonna stand forever, man. That's what that's what Isaac just said. He said, yea, and he shall be blessed. He gonna be blessed. You can't do nothing about it, man. It's over with. The blessing that Yahweh Shah set up through the spirit is gonna be established, right? So regardless of what Esau try to do, regardless of what Esau try to martyr all the elect, that's not gonna happen. Esau trying to kill all the Israelites off the New World Order, that's not gonna happen, man. You just read, say, yeah, you shall be blessed, meaning what? The blessing is gonna be established, right? As it says in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, it says Esau's the end of the world, Jacob is beginning that follow. So ain't nothing you can do, man. You see? Verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great exceeding bitter cry. So Esau crying like a bitch, because he lost his which it was never his blessing to begin with. But Esau crying like a little bitch. Right? Verse 35, and he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he have supplanted me these 2 times. Because why? Because we got the birthright and we got the blessing. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he have taken away my blessing. Right? Which is never his from the begin with. It would just have to play out. This is the Most High did with drama. It's just in the movie. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So Esau begging for a little blessing, right? He couldn't take his loss. So he trying to go out with a bang, right? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. Right. We're gonna be their lords, man. Right? They call us niggas and spicks and porch monkeys and savages and hog dogs and good for nothing, useless. They call us slaves. But at the end of the day, we gonna be their Lord, man. Right? Let me read that again. Behold, I have made him thy Lord. Right? So they're gonna be going back to serving us just in the time of King Saul, King David, King Solomon, and all of the rest of the patriarchs through the lineage. Right? How they was under our feet. Right? It's gonna be going back to just like that when Yahweh Shah come back on the scene, man. And all his brethren I have given to him for servants, right? Because King David, once the Most High set up King David, King David took down all these nations, man. And it's gonna go back to that, man. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. So with all the resources, gold, silver, precious stones, everything that you can think of, imports, exports, right? We're gonna be the plug, man. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? Right? So Esau, what you crying for? Right? It's over with. Right? It's over with, man. But check this out. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice. So he crying and bitching and moaning, right? He acting like a little girl, right? And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be. So Isaac blessed him just because off the strength of that was his son, right? And he was crying like a little bitch, right? Isaac blessed him with a little blessing off the strength of that. And it reads this, and he said, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. And then what? They gonna get all the top of the top of the top, right? And the dew of heaven from above, right? And by the sword shall thou live. So by the sword they gonna live. So to get all that stuff we just read, he said, behold, thy fatness of the earth and dew of heaven. He said, and by the sword thou shalt live. So how did they get these places? By rape, robbing, and murdering, conniving, theft, pillaging, murdering people, innocent, shedding innocent blood. That's how they got Europe. That's how they got, Mag and Magog. That's how they got America. That's how they got all of that's how they got Australia. You see? And it shall come to pass. Now check this out. This the key point, right? Because we had to go through all of that to understand the context of the movie, man. We had to read all of that to now we at this point because we just read all of that. But now we at this point, we at the end of the height, because although this scene has passed, this was also this is an account and a prophecy within itself, you see, and it has symbolic meaning to everything that was said in this, everything that's highlighted. But check this out, and it said, and it reads, and it says, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. So Isaac is talking to Esau. It says, and it shall come to pass and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, right? And what dominion is talking about? Dominion over the earth, because it just said, behold, the fatness of the heaven and the dew of heaven, right? Meaning the best places on earth and the top rulership. You're gonna have all the nations in captivity, and subjection, right? But it says, when it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion. So who has the dominion? Esau. Who was Isaac talking to? Esau, right? So it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So what is that going into? What is that going into? I'm finna come back, but we finna see. We finna get it. We finna get it, man. Right, this is the time that we in. You gotta understand the movie. The Most High said, measure the time diligently in itself. Right, Yahweh Shah said, you hypocrites, you can discern the weather and this and that, but you can't discern the movie. Right, you gotta understand the movie. What's next? What's popping? Understand the symbolic meaning of everything in this thing, man. Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? For it shall come to pass. So now we're talking about Jacob's trouble and what's going on and what does Jacob's trouble represent? Jacob's trouble represents the birth pains of the deliverance. You see? Verse 8, for it shall come to pass in that day, said the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. Khan. You see, so when all hell breaks loose, when the Most High is breaking down the whole infrastructure of Esau's economy, because Esau, he gonna break it down himself just to bring in that master reset, the new world order, but he don't know that he falling into Yahweh Shema Shah's hands, man. You see? For it shall come to pass in that day. Because in Jacob's trouble, who's gonna be ruling? Esau. Esau's ruling right now. When it's Jacob's trouble, it's happening. It's like, it's happening in the near future. So who's gonna be ruling? Esau. So who got the dominion? Everything is going into effect. You see? For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. You see? Let me read that again. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves in him. So let's go back, man. So we got to understand that the movie, man, this all goes into it. You see? Genesis chapter 27, verse 40, and by thy sword thou shalt live, and shalt thou serve, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have a dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So when these things happen, we got to rejoice. You see, because when Jacob's trouble, we got to rejoice, because although Esau is coming to kill us, that's ultimately Yahweh through the Spirit breaking that yoke off our necks, because we that much closer to the deliverance, man. You see, verse 41, and this goes into it too as well. It says Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing. So this is why they gonna roll on us, man. This is why they gonna roll on us, starting chiefly with the elect, but also they coming after the Israelites, man. They're gonna try to kill off majority of the Israelites and chip the rest. You see, verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. So look, in Isaac through the spirit of Yahushua, he left, right? Yahushua left 2,000 years ago on the scene. These devils got took out of power. 4,000 years came back into power. Yahushua still left the scene, right? But Yahushua is coming back, man. So this what they say they're gonna do, right? They said the days of my mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So what they finna do? They're gonna try to slay Jacob, man. Take Jacob from getting that blessing, right? You see, that's what Esau wanted to do in Genesis, man. He wanted to stop Jacob from getting that blessing, man. But it ain't gonna happen. It won't happen. It didn't happen in Genesis. It didn't happen. What it was, that Edomite that tried to kill all the Jews in the time of Esther. It didn't happen then. There, it didn't happen. When it was an Edomite that came an adversary to Solomon. And then none of that time happened, man. It didn't happen in Rome. It didn't happen in the time of the Maccabees, and it's not gonna happen now, man. Right? It's not gonna happen now. You see? Why is it not gonna happen now? Because the Most High is lifting up a standard, man. Right? And you gotta understand the movie. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19, man. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. Right? Who is that standard? Right? What's that standard? We're gonna get it, man. All right, we're gonna get it. Amos chapter 9, verse 11. And that day, what day is it talking about? The day that we in right now. The day that we coming out of our graves, as it states in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, man. Amos chapter 9, verse 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David, right? It represents who? The 144,000 that is fallen, right? Because how do we fall, man? Because whether you know it or not, the 144,000 was back there with Yahushua creating the whole damn thing, the earth, everything that you see. The 144,000 created it, man. You see, through them, all the spirits created, man. That's why it says, that's why, because it's Yahushua, 144,000, then the rest, man. Right? That's why Paul said that, know ye not that we shall judge angels. Why we gonna judge angels? Because we come before the angels, man. Why it states that Yahushua it says that everything is subject in the heavens to Yahweh Shai and on earth. And it says we shall be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Because we was back, because the 144,000 was back there creating everything with Yahweh Shai, man. That's the type of power that we had. We had the power to create the whole earth. You see? I'm going to read that again. Amos chapter 9, verse 11. And that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, man. We have fallen, man. You see? Fallen from great power. We mere mortal men. Right? But that's okay. That's okay. Check this out. And close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins. And I will build it as the days of old, that they may possess the remnant of Edom. So we coming in that time, man. We coming. That's the blessing. That's part of the blessing. And all the heathen. So Esau started with Esau, Edom, and all of the heathen, which are called by my name, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemar Shah, that doeth this, man. You see? So, hey, we in that time, man. The Most High is raising up the tabernacle. Like we just read, we're gonna raise up the tabernacle of David, man. You see? So we coming in that time, man. The spiritual power is on its way. Jacob Trouble is on it. Everything is gonna kick into high gear, man. This is the scenes. This is the part of the prophecy, and this is the movie, man. Isaiah 41:14. Fear not thy worm, Jacob. Right. So fear not, Jake, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans that believe in this truth, fear not. And ye men of Israel, right? And I will help thee, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, and thou Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, I will make thee a new sharp threshing instrument, having teeth. Thou shalt thresh the mountains and make them small, which represents them governments, that military power. So like that military power. And thou shalt beat them small, and thou shalt make the hills as chaff. Right? So we're going to destroy these nations, man. The Most High is going to lift up a standard in these times, man. The Most High is the key point. The Most High is breaking off that yoke, right? Because we just read in Genesis 27, he said, when you shall have a dominion, we're coming in that time, man. Genesis chapter 27, verse 40, by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt thou serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, so Esau got the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So Esau is trying to implement his new world order. He has his dominion, but it says when he doing it, he don't know what he doing, because he's furthering the raising up of the elect, man. Right? The tabernacle, the yoke of iron, the captivity is being broken from off our neck, man. You see? So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kakwadash. Hope this video was edifying through the spirit and power, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And say next time, shalom to the whole elect, man. Shalom.